All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about example 2. In this one, we're still talking about polynomials being multiplied, but it's no longer a monomial, it's a polynomial. Basically just meaning we now have two-step equations, but it functions and works exactly the same way. What we're looking at in A is we're going to be setting 2x plus 7 equal to 0, and 2x minus 7 equal to 0. And then solving for x. Whoop, there we go. You saw a preview example 3. Whoops. All right, here we're going to isolate the variable by subtracting by 7. We get 2x equals negative 7. Then we're going to divide by 2 on both sides and get x equals negative 7 halves. And we're going to be doing 2x minus 7 equals 0, so we need to isolate the variable by first creating a 0 pair, and then dividing by the coefficient. So it looks like in this case, x equals both negative and positive 7 halves. Now, we can absolutely answer this way. A quick notation pointer. We could also write x equals positive and negative 7 halves. These two mean the exact same thing. So I prefer this one just because it's shorter, it's easier to write, and once you learn how to read it, you know exactly what it says. So since it says the same thing, takes less time and effort, I like doing it. All right. Next, we're talking about what if we're squaring this? Well, remember back in the last video, in the introduction video where it kind of explained how all this works, I did say that sometimes we're going to get just one answer because what this squared here tells us is we're actually solving this problem. And what we're going to do to solve that is we set each one of those equal to 0, but they're the same thing, so we have to get the same answer. So in this case, if we were wanting to do a shortcut, we absolutely could of just solving one of them, because when we solve one of them, we're going to solve both of them because they are the same thing to begin with. Now here, I'm going to isolate the variable by creating that 0 pair and get x equals 1. And here, that is my only answer. We'll go over why x equals 1 is the only answer, even though it is a parabola, because it does have a squared exponent. But that's for a later time. All right, so now I'm going to look at C. I'm going to recognize that none of them are identical to each other, so I'm going to have to solve each one. So this one we actually expect to have 3 answers because I have 3 different polynomials, each with its own x. I need to solve x plus 1 equals 0, and x minus 3 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. And simple enough, creating those 0 pairs, I get I get x equals negative 1. I get x is going to be equal to 3 after I create the 0 pair here. And I get x is equal to a positive 2, because I have to add 2 to both sides to create the 0 pair here. So what this tells me is x equals negative 1 and x equals 2 and x equals 3.